Today I'm gonna tell you how I scaled and sold my startup for $7 million in 2021 with the power of automation, so you can do the same. A little bit about my background story. So after spending 10 years in a corporate role, so I worked for P&G, then I'm working for Google. I left my job at Google on 2017 to start my first startup. After 1 year, that startup failed. Okay, but that first startup led me to start my second startup on the same niche, but with a different product. And on 2018, I started that second startup. And from the start, I started to learn about how to scale the company, especially because as you're starting a new company, you have to do all by yourself. So you have a lot of different tasks, a lot of different processes to deal with. I tried to hire people to help me with, but I wasn't, let's say, successful in that task because I didn't hire the best people to do it. And that was then I started to learn how to build automations. And from that moment, my startup started to scale a lot faster than before. Of course, with automation, you can make sure that you are spending your time on the most strategic tasks. You are spending your time on the processes that are going to take your business forward. So instead of kind of moving data from one place to another, instead of creating documents, contracts, sending payment invoices, I was spending my time on selling, for example, on delivering great results to my clients. So automation was key to be able to scale my startup. So I started my company in 2018. I started to build my first automations by the end of that year. And then, of course, as I started to learn more about automations, I started to build one system on top of the other, connecting everything together. Of course, that at some point I needed to hire other people to help me, especially developers. Because the first product I built it myself. I'm not a developer, but I learned how to do it. So I had to hire some help to do that for me, especially because the product started to become more complex. So I needed more advanced help. So let's say this. But almost all admin, all operations tasks were automated. So I started to build more and more automations, and I was spending my time on going after more clients because I was selling to bigger companies. I was selling to like Fortune 500 companies. So that takes a lot of time to build relationships, to go after them, to do some calls. And also, of course, I was able to go after investors so they could help me scale my business. So the COVID hit, and that didn't hurt my company that much. But like on 2021, I got approached by two other companies, two other startups in the same niche that I was in, which is the HR department, so the HR market. So I got approached by two different companies with two different products, but in the same niche, in the same market. I started to negotiate with both of them. Of course, that I ended up moving forward with the one that I met personally, because with the COVID, with other the quarantine and everything, one of them was based in another city, so I was just doing some calls. And the other one was based in the same city that I am in, so I was able to meet with them several times in person, so that made a huge difference. And when they started to learn more about the business, not only about the product, because they knew how the product worked, but once they started to learn more about my operations, they realized that with the automation that I have built, my company was running very efficiently. So I was able to build a company with operational excellence. So the company was able to run without like my supervision, right? So without me having to be every day with every process in there. So first of all, that made me have better margins. So my margins was like above 50%. So that was very, very high. And again, this is due to automations because I didn't have to spend a lot of time hiring staff. And staff, of course, is expensive depending on the type of people that you need to hire. So I didn't spend too much time on that. And also with automations, you have a very scalable business because the automation can handle 1 time 100 clients. So you don't need to keep hiring more people to deal with more and more clients. So once they realized that I had a very well-oiled machine running inside the business, that made a huge difference with them. So because of automations, they become even more interested on my product and of course on my business. So they made an offer. Actually, both companies made an offer, but again, as I told you, I decided to go with the one that I met personally, that I'm more confident on moving forward with. And also, like, not only the value that matter, but also the fit with both products. So my product with the company's product, so it was a very nice fit in terms of like delivering great value and great results to the client. So we could make like the potential of building something even bigger was huge. That's why I decided to go with the first one. And after so I started negotiating with the company on July, on the day of my birthday, and we kind of finalized the deal by November. So a couple of months there on negotiating, going into more detail, due diligence, all that kind of stuff. But I ended up selling for $7 million. Of course, that's most of the part in equity and also one part in cash. But it was a very nice experience for me. So not only the whole M&A process, but also like getting to know this kind of people, getting to know this kind of process, and also like the fact that they really, really like my business because of automation, of course, because of my product, but also because of all the automation that I had running. That kind of was the last part that I needed to start my own automation agency. So that's why in the next year, so last year, I decided to start my own automation agency to help other entrepreneurs, other business owners to do the same as I did. So I can help them scale their business, scale their operations with the power of automations. So I'm very passionate about automations. The more I started to learn about it, the more I fell in love with this whole thing, not only automations, but systems and everything. So that's why I decided to start my own automation agency after selling my business. And that's what I do. That's what I do now. So I help other businesses from solopreneurs to Fortune 500 companies. I help them build operational excellence. I help them build systems and automation so they can also have a well-oiled machine running for them. So that's my story. That's how I was able to sell my business to $7 million, again, because of automation. So if you're not building automations right now, you really, really should start doing today. You're going to start seeing the great value that automation can add to your business, to your operations, so you can scale your business, so you can scale your company and build something even greater. So start today. If you need some help, just click on the link below so I can help you build your first automations. Thank you.